The Call Me Successful podcast, Connect series brought to you by Sell by Legal.
David Walker, welcome to the Call Me Successful podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Look, I know you've been obviously an elite top agent for Ray White. You've spoken at Aric, and now you finally got onto the Call Me Successful podcast. So this must be a highlight of your career.
I've been trying, mate. I've been trying.
You've been knocking. He's been calling me every day. Yeah. Dan, come on. Not quite. No, we won't say that. Mate, I'm super appreciative to have you here. I know you're a busy man. We're obviously here at Connect with a nice little private booth. So we wanted to pick your brain a little bit, everything, how things are going down your end, up in North Shore. How's business? What's happening? Give us the rundown.
Oh, look, we're coming into spring, like out of the depths of winter. So stock seems to be picking up. There's going to be a call on interest rates later this afternoon. So it just feels like the market's starting to bubble again. But even through the last 12 months, we've still managed to kind of build our business. We've taken on a couple of new agents as well who are kicking some huge goals, and our Northern Beaches arm's starting to really do some good things. So that's all exciting.
One thing I learned from you when I was with you for that day down in Sydney, I had the pleasure of doing Built by Believe, was the reputation that you've built. It seemed like your reputation really was phenomenal. You go in anywhere, there's hugs and kisses everywhere, handshakes from anyone. How have you gone building that reputation? Is it just over time and just doing good things? And what I've heard from a lot of people, Cindy Cash just before, was saying, anytime I need a call, David, he'll answer and he'll give me a bit of advice. So how have you gone about building reputation?
It's just relationships. So a lot of the people within our industry, rather than kind of looking at them as competitors, or like one of my best mates is one of McGrath's top business owners. So just because you're in a different brand or a different business doesn't mean you're not doing the same thing. So if you build relationships that are genuine and you actually care about how others are doing, it's just relationships. That's what life is, really.
I think gone are the days where you look at the competitor down the road and give him the evil eyes, because it's like, who knows where in 5 years' time that guy's going to be. You might be knocking on your door going, mate, I'm not happy. I think I need some more support, or I need help. Is that the same with yourself?
Well, that's it. Like a lot of the people that work in our business now used to work in the businesses across the road. So, and I think people want to work in a business for people that they like. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily saying that everybody likes me, but they want to work in a business that everyone seems to get along. They don't have to be best friends, but they respect each other. And so the business that we've built has been all around people growing strong relationships, but having respect for each other.
How do you do that? Do you show it publicly? What's behind the inner sanctum, or is it more networking? Or
I think it all does start at the top. Like if you build a business around ego, you build a business around flashiness, then you probably attract those types of people. Whereas if you build a business around trying to do the right thing by your clients and trying to build those relationships and be a decent human being, then you're probably going to attract those types of people.
I feel like it's every conversation in the living room is important. The things that you say come back around at some point. If someone was to say things, oh yeah, David, geez, he was pretty dodgy when I work with him. So all of a sudden that multiplies, and that's going to hurt the reputation based on everyone you speak to. So yeah, I think you went about it really, really well. Everyone that I've spoken to have said nothing but good things. So it's like, and then here you are, you're talking on the that massive podium, the spinning podium last night, which was very impressive. What an event that was last night.
It was pretty incredible. Yeah. You don't actually realize the full scale of the group until you get here, and then it's even scary that, I think it's only a quarter of the group that's actually here. So
yeah, it felt like the Brownlow.
Yeah. Yeah, not that I've ever been.
Yeah, me either. Can you talk to me? So Built by Belief was a big campaign you ran before Aric.
Yeah.
It was all about mindset, and obviously those people who have been successful believe that they can be. Can you tell me what was the basis? What made you come up with that, and why?
Yeah, look, I look at some of the best agents within the industry, people I've met along the way. We've all got a similar skill set in terms of being able to sit down with vendors, buyers, put deals together, get good prices for people. But what separates the very, very top from maybe the mediocre, I think, is the way that they think about things and the belief they have in themselves. And it's not sort of a fake kind of thing that's put on. It's that genuine. If you're about to knock on the front door of an owner, do you think you're the best person for the job?
Yep.
What I try to the best of my ability to help with people in our business is really building the way they think about themselves. So when they're in the lounge room, They can be giving people not just the best advice, but they know that they're the best person for the job. Because if you've got the self-confidence and the belief in what you're doing for people, then you're going to be able to sell that better.
What does an agent do right there? They've sold 3 sales. They've been in it for 6 months and they come up against you somehow.
Oh.
How do they think that they're the best, do you think? What do they have to do?
It's probably not an overnight thing that you just wake up one day and think you're the best, or you're going to be able to compete with the best. But it's just a small step. So it's you're doing things on a daily basis that build your own trust within yourself. So I sort of say to all of our people, every single day you start the day wanting to achieve something, and whether it's going to the gym or making phone calls or whatever it is, a lot of people let themselves down every day because they don't do it and they come up with an excuse for not doing it. So the people that do really well are actually they're following through the contract they make with themselves, which is, I'm going to call this many people. I'm going to do that, the meeting that I plan to do, or I'm going to get up early and I'm going to go for a walk, or whatever it is. But most people always come up with excuses, break that trust in themselves, and therefore they keep telling themselves, oh, you're not good enough, or you should, you're not worthy enough, which really hurts their belief. So
yeah, I look at myself. Sometimes you can get on an absolute roll and you're doing everything. I'm going to the gym. I'm feeling great and everything feels like it's coming together. And it maybe takes, 1 or 2 weeks where you're just going, oh, geez, I haven't done that as well as I could have. And it becomes almost easier, I suppose, to go, oh, yeah, I've had a shitty week rather than a shitty day. And it does sort of multiply.
Absolutely.
How do you stay on top of that? Like, how do you just keep going at that high performing level and just every day and every week just rock up for you, but your team, everyone in your businesses?
It's probably I've got some really good support around me. So having the right people around you, I think is really, really important, but I just don't overthink it either. Like, I've got things that I need to do every single day, and yes, it's busy, and yes, there's a lot going on, but I think not getting overwhelmed with what is needed to be done, I think is really important. And it's just breaking it down into smaller steps. So whatever you have to do in a day, it's just breaking that down. Everything we do in this industry is all numbers. So the people that are most successful just follow through on their numbers. Funnily, like we reverse engineered the numbers to work out in our marketplace what it takes to become $1 million agent. And so everyone thinks about the end goal of being $1 million agent, but we worked out it comes down to making 6,660 connects per year, which then works out to be 28 connects per day for 5 days of the week. So say to all of our agents, you want to write $1 million? I promise you, if you go and do 28 connects, get 28 connects a day, which is roughly about 72 calls, dialing 72 numbers, you'll write $1 million. So don't overcomplicate it. Just go and get 28 connects a day, you'll write $1 million. It's not difficult.
Yeah, that seems very simple, doesn't it? Just get on the phone.
And those numbers, based on the fact that you're an average lister, and based on the fact that you're not getting through to as many as what you probably could, and is based on the fact that on the phone, you're not a great closer. So if you increase your skills, become a better lister, you increase your intensity and your energy on the phone, get into more doors, those numbers come down.
How do you improve someone's conversion rate? And they're in their listing presentation, they get it nailed. We spoke to, who was it the other day? They were saying that actually, it was Alan Fetz.
Yep.
He was saying sometimes he likes to go in last, essentially. He just makes sure that no matter what, he wants to go last. And that's how he increases his percentage. Is there something on your end?
It's energy for me. Like, energy is our currency in our industry. So people aren't buying what price you tell them or what your fee is or anything like that. It's almost a little bit like dating. If you've got bad energy, or you turn up and your shirt's untucked, or you smell of cigarettes and the other person just goes, I'm not vibing with this person, you're not getting the listing. If you've got good energy and you actually are in there trying to be, genuine and let people know you're enthusiastic about their home, and your energy's high, you've got a far better conversion rate. So energy's a big one, but it's also, like Alan said, he likes to go in third or last. That for him would give him more belief that he's getting it. So his energy would be better. So it's all a mindset thing.
True. Do you think it's a nice combination of energy, but also a sense of like groundedness or calmness?
Yeah.
I get that from you. Like, doesn't seem to be a point where you feel like you're overly stressed and rushing.
Yep.
I feel like I get out of the car and you run into the point where tuck your shirt in, get your folder ready and doing these ones, then it's game over already.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be a sense of like feeling just present and relaxed. And I think that will come with a sense of confidence too.
Well, it's also a lot of agents turn up to a listing presentation and they've not really put any energy or preparation into the listing presentation. Whereas as an agent, everything we do gets back to trying to get into the listing presentation, but the preparation people do for it's pretty much non-existent.
Yeah.
I find that extremely it blows my mind. Think about how many calls again you need to make or how many letterbox drops you have to pay for because you're in the hope of getting a listing. Yet when you actually get that listing, people turn up not knowing what the block size is or not knowing what the closest sales are or not knowing how many years those people have been there or not have done any research or turn up a little bit hungover or tired or looking bad or they might make a phone call in the car to a vendor and have an argument before they get there. So they're in a bad headspace. So the preparation for a listing presentation, I think, is completely crucial.
So what does your marketing look like, can I ask? Like you come in, do you have I imagine a nice presentation booklet with all your stats and
everything?
What does that look like?
We've got some really, really beautiful marketing that we've got that's tailored to our marketplace. But I also turn up with the sales. I turn up expecting that they're ready to sign there and then.
Yep.
The amount of times that I've turned up and people are expecting just to do business with you, it happens all the time.
Sure.
And that's again, it's qualifying before you get there. You're asking them the questions on the phone when you're preparing to go down. So yeah, it's just being prepared that they're going to do business.
How do you go in your marketplace? There are some hugely successful people out that way. And I think the agents are pretty well known in those suburbs. Everyone knows who they are. And they'd have a list of, I want to meet 2 or 3 people. How does a vendor decide I'm going to go with David over someone else when all these people here are at this such insane level of business? They have all the experience. They've got backed results. Their marketing's amazing.
It's actually, it's very true in our marketplace. There's some amazing agents, really good people. And I like that because it means that we can't be complacent. So we have to always be at the top of our game. So I'm always thinking of how can we get better? How can we improve? Even though what we've got right now is incredible. For the last 2 weeks, I've been spending a lot of time on improving it and what things can we do? Because after a while, you're saying the same things, it gets a little bit stale. But also now we, in our marketplace, because we've got the numbers and the market share, we can really get deep into the numbers and how it works for our vendors to use us. So it is right. The competition is huge in our marketplace. But I like that. I would hate it if we were kind of, we could be complacent and still do well.
So we've got this amazing agent. His name's Ryan Tramer. He's actually in the room right now. He works in Park Ridge. How would you go, right? If you're going to move into Park Ridge and you know what, I'm going to take on Ryan Tramer and I'm going to put my team out there and we're going to absolutely crush this area.
Yep.
How do you go into an area and go, this is the game plan? Or what does that game plan look like, I suppose the question is?
Yeah, well, it'd be spending a lot of time researching so I could become the expert. I think if you walk into a listing and you didn't know what you were talking about, you'd be dismissed straight away. So I would find out every single sale, the stats on what it had, how big it was, how it felt, look at the pictures, look at the videos, really learn that marketplace back to front, the good streets, the bad streets. And then secondly, I would build a team and get out there. I'd have 2 prospectors. And, I said before, 28 connects per day to write $1 million in our marketplace. I'd work out what the numbers were, reverse engineer it and say, okay, well, how many calls do I need to make in order to write a certain amount of business? And then amplify it by getting 1 or 2 prospectors if I had the budget to be able to do that.
Yep.
And then we would just dissect the streets. Street after street, they'd be called, they would be knocked. We would get in front of as many people, build our database, become the experts, push out as much information as possible to the people that live in that marketplace and be seen to be in everyone's letterbox on a weekly basis. And I wouldn't stop until the mission was accomplished. It'd probably take about 12 to 18 months, but within 18 months, I think, unfortunately, mate, I'd be chomping at your heels.
Great answer. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot goes to it, and it feels like what you're telling me there is a relentless drive. It's just going to happen, and with consistency and numbers that we will get there.
But that's what I said before. In our industry, stop overthinking things. If you believe in the numbers and you know what the numbers are and you just get up every day and do those numbers, you can't not be successful. So it's not rocket science. And if you want to increase your numbers and make your numbers better, you just improve your skill set. And if your skill set's really poor, so if you're only getting 30% of listings, improve your listing presentation. Like, what are your points of difference? How are you different from your competitors? When I started in our marketplace, we had the top LJ Hooker office within Wahroonga. We went in, Ray White had 2% market share. So I was the guy going up against the behemoth of a business. And so I had to be different. And it was hard to begin with, but then we got the momentum and the momentum kept building and we are where we are today. So it's just believing in the numbers, but knowing your numbers as well. So if you're sitting there as an agent today and not knowing how many calls you need to make when you show up to work today, maybe before you do anything, sit down and actually reverse engineer the numbers and work out how many sales do you need, which means how many listings, which means how many connects, how many phone calls in order to get to where you want to get to.
What about your prospectors? How researched are they before they make any call? Like, if it's a cold call, are you wanting them to know everything about the house?
They have to. I remember as an 18-year-old, I was making prospecting calls on a property that sold 4 suburbs away, and I had no clue, and I wasn't getting into any doors because the person that was my boss at the time just didn't give me direction around what that property was and why it didn't make any sense for me to be calling those streets.
Okay.
So once I actually said, okay, well, I've got to give relevant information that's going to get somebody interested, and I started to go, what's in it for them, not what's in it for me. My dialogue became a lot better and I was getting a lot more better results. So yeah, I think the people prospecting need to know. And it's just, if you want to be an expert, you actually just have to work out what information are you going to be asked, and maybe just have a couple of conversations with people who are in the know and maybe do a bit of role playing around, okay, what sort of questions will I be asked, and learn that information.
And then what about digital media? Has that had an impact in your prospecting in terms of your brand presence? A big spiel that I've put out a lot is the more you keep rocking up like a billboard or a bus stop or whatever, I think digital media can show your authenticity online. Probably it's like a lot less in your face. People choose to watch you if they do so, unless it's an advertisement, another one.
Yeah.
But have you found that digital media has impacted your business? Is it helping it grow? What's the...
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, I've got a head for radio, so digital media is probably not the best thing for me.
Okay, yeah.
But I think digital media is huge now. Like you on Instagram or Facebook, and the stuff that's coming into your news feeds now is just incredible how specific it is around what your interests are. And so in your marketplace, and even with property, you're getting into some of the tech that's out there now where we've just built an app actually that's tailored to doing a digital letterbox drop. So literally, as you list the property, 2 kilometers around that property will go into people's news feeds that live around the property. So if you don't have a big, strong digital presence, then you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, it's heading that way for sure. Dave, I'm going to leave on one last question. So there's how do you define success? Oh my God. The question I ask all the time. The question is, how do you define success? So we've spoken to a lot of successful people. They all have different, barriers and the things that they want to work on to achieve success. Some feel like they're already there. To you, what's the definition of success?
It is completely different for everybody. And I've learned that building a business and the people around me, they've all got different ideas of what successful looks like to them. So I would say success is if you are getting up every day and following through with your goals and what you wanted to achieve in that day. It might be as simple as exercise. It might be as simple as a good relationship with your spouse or your children. But success really is, are you fulfilled? Do you get to the end of the day and feel like you've achieved something and feel like you've actually added to the world that day? That's what success is. Like, success isn't about money. It's not about being showy. It's just about being genuine and feeling good about yourself at the end of the day, because a lot of people unfortunately don't, because they might not be focused on the right things. So that's what I think success looks like.
Well said. Love that answer. Dave Auger, thank you so much for coming on Call Me Successful. I appreciate your time, and good luck for the next couple of years in business.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.